Alright, what's going on guys? And today I want to talk about the Signature Spellbook Gideon thing. The Gideon Signature Spellbook. And before we get into this, two disclaimers. First off, I'm not here to announce the product or to talk about it too specifically. I actually just want to talk about, Wizards of the Coast, I want to talk about their products and how they seem to have improved. And I want to use this as kind of a base because this is pretty fantastic, by the way, if you haven't seen this. And also, if you don't want to be spoiled by the War of the Spark book or the War of the Spark storyline, fair warning, the cards in this thing kind of spoil the ending, so yeah, be aware. Click away if you don't want to know what happens. But anyway, if you haven't seen this, it's kind of fantastic. Just like the last one, the Jace version, it has 8 cards. They're kind of flavorful, this time based on Gideon instead of Jace. You get the 8 cards, you also get 1 random foil of one of the random cards. They look super cool, they have a unique border, pretty fancy looking, and this time, holy crap, did they give us some pretty good cards. Namely, Rest in Peace, Path to Exile, and Worship are all pretty fantastic. These are all modern playable. I mean, Worship's kind of a fringe card, not super modern playable, but it's played sometimes. And then we have Rest in Peace and Path to Exile, both staples, and not just cheap staples, but valuable staples too. And then we also got Martyr's Bond, which I believe is played in Commander. So pretty fantastic. If we look at the value of these cards, the 2 cheapest are the 2 flavor cards, Gideon and Blackblade Reforged. These cards kind of have to be in there just because, they're flavorful. It's about Gideon, so it has to be the Gideon Jura, the one with his first and last name. The Jace version had Jace Bellerin in it, so, they have to throw him in. And then you have the Blackblade, that's, just an important part of his character. Both of these cards are pretty cheap. The cheapest version of Gideon is the Arch Enemy Nicol Bolas version, which is $2.44. And Blackblade Reforged, the Dominaria version, is $1.11. And that's in standard right now, so it'll probably go down after it rotates. But here's the thing, those are the 2 cheapest cards and they're still worth more than $1 each. I mean, if you remember the Jace version, it had Brainstorm, Negate, Blue Elemental Blast, and Threads of Disloyalty. Negate and Blue Elemental Blast are 10 cents each. Threads of Disloyalty is 40 cents and Brainstorm is 50 to 75 cents or so. So yeah, that's a pretty big improvement. And then we start getting to these other cards. Rest in Peace, the cheapest version of that is Return to Ravnica at $10.40. Path to Exile, the cheapest version of that is Arch Enemy, which is $8.52. Worship, the cheapest version of Worship is the 8th edition printing, which is $7.88. And then Martyr's Bond, the cheapest version of that is the Commander 2011 version, which is $7.91. I mean, that's crazy, right? And then the 2 cheapest cards outside of the super flavorful, the one that have to be in there. True Conviction, still $3.37, which is basically more expensive than the vast majority of the cards in the Jace version. And the cheapest version of Shielded by Faith is the Commander 2015 and the Explorers of Ixalan versions, which are $2.25. So in total, at least right now, and do keep in mind, these are subject to change. They're probably going to go down with this printing, but currently these cards are valued, at least if you buy the cheapest possible versions of them that are on the market right now, are $43.87. And keep in mind that these are, pretty fancy versions, plus you're going to get a random foil. I mean, if you get a foil Rest in Peace or Path to Exile, how much is that going to be valued at? Who knows? Even if you get the cheapest card is $1.11, so even if you get a foil version of that, that still might be worth $2 or $3. So yeah, it's actually pretty decent, especially if this goes for the MSRP of the Jace version, which was $19.99. So that's pretty crazy. And if we just compare that with the Jace version really quick, I'm just gonna go super quick here. Currently, the current values are Blue Elemental Blast 10 cents, Brainstorm 70 cents, Counterspell $1.13, Gifts Ungiven $2, it's $1.98, Jace Bellerin $3.55, Mystical Tutor $5.54, that's the most valuable card in the whole thing, and then Negate 10 cents, Threads of Disloyalty 37 cents, for a total cost of $13.37, which is not great. So I took a screenshot of the Professor's video. Look how nice this looks. I'm jealous, but I wanted to show this. These are the prices at the time of release. So you see the non-spellbook prices, those are what we're looking at. Mystical Tutor was $787, Gifts Ungiven $639, Brainstorm $122, Jace was $688, Counterspell was $250, Negate was 30 cents, Blue Elemental Blast 13 cents, Threads of Disloyalty 53 cents. So they were a little bit more valuable before the Jace Spellbook came out, and that did, it seems to have anyway, have lowered the prices. So at that time, based on the professor's prices, the total value was about $25.82, somewhere around there. And we're still much higher than that at $43.87, at least right now. And even if these prices go way down, is it gonna go down below $20? I don't think so. And that's pretty cool. Like, that's what I want to talk about. I've spent so much time talking about this product that I said I wasn't going to talk that much about. But the point is, I feel like Wizards of the Coast is finally starting to get it. They're finally starting to put, cards that people actually want into their products. It seems like, basic common sense, but so many products in the past have been so bad. And I don't mean to be super negative in this video. This is a very positive video because Wizards of the Coast has been doing amazing lately. And this is another example of that. And after so long of things being kind of just so bad, like these products with these crap cards in them that they think people would actually buy, Wizards of the Coast is finally realizing that, hey, if we put staple cards that people actually play with in the product, maybe people will actually buy them. And we've seen that with the Challenger decks. Those were amazing. And once again, this seems pretty damn good. I mean, we're talking $43 worth of cards. Even if you only play one format, let's say you only play Modern like me, as a Modern player, I'm getting close to $20 in just Path to Exile and Rest in Peace alone. So if I need those cards, I'm literally getting my money's worth, and I'm getting a pretty fancy version of them. And the rest of the cards are just extra bonus. I could sell those or whatever, unload them on Cardsphere, and then combine that with the fact that there's a random foil. That's also, like, if I get a foil Path to Exile, that's pretty fantastic too. I'm not even playing in paper right now, and I'm almost tempted to pre-order one of these just because it's actually really good. Like, if I can get this for 20 bucks, why would I not do that? I mean, it's pretty great. I will take $40 worth of cards for 20 bucks. Yes, give me it. I will buy it. And it's like, that seems so simple. And yet Wizards of the Coast, it took them so long to figure that out, that if they just put $20 worth of cards in a box and sell it for 15 bucks, then people will buy it. But instead they were like, hey, let's put $15 worth of cards in this box and we'll sell it for 20 and they'll buy it. And it's like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. Not going to buy that. And this is like, it seems like Wizards of the Coast finally gets it, and they're finally starting to print valuable, worthwhile cards and their products. I mean, a couple years ago, if you told me that the Challenger decks would have been a thing, I would have had a very hard time believing that. I mean, no way would Wizards of the Coast print, Hazoret and Chandra and Walking Ballistas and Challenger decks. No way are they going to make a mono red deck and actually put Goblin Chain Whirler and Runaway Steam Cannon. No way. Why would they do that? No way. And now it's like, yeah, that's possible. I mean, they're actually doing it, and they're actually, selling the product. That's always nice when they actually sell a product. People actually want the product. Kind of crazy. And the thing is, when they print cards like this, when they print kind of special border, alternate art, kind of fancy versions of staple cards, first off, the market is hungry for that kind of stuff. People will buy that stuff up, so it won't affect the prices terribly, just because a large number of people who buy it are just going to stuff it right into their binders. They're not going to, sell these. They're very fancy and they want to keep them. And there are other people who are going to pay a lot for just to have the fancy versions. Like if someone's playing Path to Exile in their Modern deck, they might want 4 of the fancy Gideon Path to Exile or whatever. Like, these kind of cards are very marketable, and a lot of people will pay extra for these kind of fancy cards. And because so many people want them, it doesn't have quite as significant of an impact on the secondary market prices. Just because if I get my hands on one of these, chances are I'm just going to stuff them all in a binder and they're mine. At least the Modern cards, I might sell True Conviction or whatever. But the point is, these staple cards, Path to Exile, Rest in Peace, those are the type of cards that probably aren't going to be affected too much, just because, I mean, how many times has Path to Exile been printed now? How many times? It's been printed so many times. I don't know how many times. I'll put it on the screen, every set that it's ever been in. It's been printed so many times, and it's still like an $8 to $10 card. Staples, it's really difficult to affect the prices. Even like fetches and shocks. I mean, shock lands have been printed 3 times now. They're still like $8 to $10 each. and they're on the rise again. They're going to go back up to like $15 to $20 each within a couple years. And by the way, the Shocklands were printed in mass-produced sets, so it's not like these garbage modern master sets that barely affect the prices at all because it's such a limited printing. Shocklands have been printed in mass-produced sets. They still fetch a high price, and they will continue to do so, and they will go up after Return to Ravnica rotates out of standard. So yeah, it's just, you can print cards like this. You can print cards, you can put fancy borders on them, you can give them new art, you can do cool stuff with them, and I feel like that's a good thing. And I think Wizards of the Coast is finally starting to get that they can do that and turn a profit, and people will want it. It's good for them, it's good for local gaming stores, it's good for me because I would take one of these. I don't know if anyone's complaining about this. I wouldn't be surprised if if certain people within the YouTube content creation community are somehow bashing on this for one reason or another, but I don't know how you can. It's pretty crazy. Now, I should say before I end this video, the one thing that I haven't talked about, and the one thing that people might complain about in the comments if they didn't watch this far, is that there aren't MSRPs now, so there is no guarantee that this will actually be sold at the same price as the Jace deck. And that's gonna be the problem. I think that's gonna be an issue. I do believe that this will sell at a higher price than the Jace deck just because it has more valuable cards in it, and there's no reason for a local gaming store to sell it at $19.99. There is no MSRP. They're going to be selling it at a higher price. There's no like moral obligation to sell it at $20. Nobody ever said that it had to be sold at $20. No one's obligated to do that. There's no reason for anyone to sell it at that price. And with $43 worth of cards in it, I have to imagine that it's going to be sold at a slightly higher price than that. And that's kind of a bummer, but that's the post MSRP world. It's going to be a lot harder to gauge products like this, but at the very least, compared to the Jace version, at least it contains cards that people want. At least it contains more value. Let's just hope that it's sold at a reasonable price. And if it isn't, well, at least Wizards of the Coast has absolved themselves of all blame. That's probably the main point of the MSRP thing, right? If it ends up being sold at like $40 each, then they can just be like, hey, we just make the product, not our fault. We can't control what people sell it for, and that's absolutely true, and that's kind of a bummer. But overall, even though that kind of sucks, and we'll see, maybe it will be sold at $20 to $25, at which point, just buy them because they're good. At $20 to $25, I would buy this all day. We'll see if they actually sell for that price point. But yeah, the point I want to make here is that it does seem like Wizards of the Coast is being more willing to print valuable cards and, cards that are very heavily played, and that's nice. It's just nice to see. It's nice to see Wizards of the Coast not being so stingy with their reprints and being more willing to just, print Path to Exile and Rest in Peace and stuff it in a box and just say, here you go. You're guaranteed to get them. Possibly you'll get foil versions, but if you want a Path to Exile, take this and you'll get it. And pretty cool. It's pretty nice. I definitely want to see more of that. And, what we've seen so far, Wizards of the Coast is more willing to do so. So I think that's something that we can definitely be happy about. We'll just see what the price point is, but I'm definitely happy to see more reprints and more of these cards pushed into the market for the players. Even if it's at the cost of investors, it's fine. I always say investors will figure things out. They'll be fine. You don't have to build everything around them, but pushing these out into the market for players, super nice to see. Happy to see it. Think it's a good thing. Great job, Wizards of the Coast. This is something that I definitely would like to see more of. So yeah, there we go, guys. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.